Something that I noticed before I even started retention, but I was just putting myself first and I was trying to assert myself more in my own life and in every aspect of my life. I was really making myself the focus of what I was doing and what I was planning to do. Something that I noticed that was happening was that the people around me started to treat me differently. I wasn't really the nice guy anymore. And it's not like being assertive makes you the mean person or the bad boy or anything like that. It's just that when you start to show that you actually have a sense of self, that you cannot be manipulated, that's where people are going to start to have a little bit more respect for you and what you have to say and what you have to offer to the world. And make no mistake that if you are a man that can provide some kind of value or direction or some kind of form of service, not just to women, but specifically to other men, that makes you a competent male, wow. You are going to be not only respected, but you're going to be treated as if you are actually valuable. And that was something that I never really got growing up. I never really understood the true meaning of that. Now, in today's video, the topic is going to be how on semen retention you will not be the nice guy anymore. And before I go on further with the video, I want to remind you all that next weekend, around this time actually, next Sunday, December 10th at 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we're going to do the virtual intimacy support group. And if you want to sign up, there's going to be a link in the description box below. It is $20 to attend this group session, and the reason for that is to weed out anybody that is not serious about it or anything of the sorts. Now, to go on further with the video, I also want to talk about some of the biggest obstacles that come with semen retention, and in a way also the milestones that come with it as you become more assertive, as you become more dominant. And the reason that you're going to be more dominant on semen retention is plain. It's you actually are holding in your vitality. You're actually holding in your ability to create, destroy, build, etc. Everything about you on semen retention is going to be enhanced because you're not a depleted person. You're not a depleted coomer. You're not someone that's worshiping the pussy. Like, to be just completely frank, you're just not worshiping it anymore, and you're not putting it on a pedestal, and you're also able to take certain things about relationships more non-personally, and that in a way does make you dominant as well. And something that I've also noticed with my assertiveness, it's that women respond particularly to your, not only your tone and how you say something, but what are the undertones and what are the undertones of what you're trying to convey. And sometimes they're going to have an imagination. Like they'll have an imagination that just goes above and beyond, and all you're doing is just being direct. But as I've mentioned in other videos, verbs grow, nouns do not grow. And I referenced that in a video as well, and I got that from a sage named Osho. I think he has a lot of interesting points to make, and I think that he has a lot of enlightened things to say. However, I do not necessarily practice everything that he preaches, and I don't think you should practice everything that anybody preaches apart from maybe Jesus. And the reason for that is because you as a person are going to follow your own path, but you're going to follow your own path by following Jesus. And that's the way it's going to be. And that's the way that I've learned is the best route, is that, there's a song by, who is it by? the I can't remember who it's by now. It escapes me at this moment. But there's a song that goes something along the lines of some footsteps are only yours meant to be followed, or something along those lines. And who is that? I think it's is it The Walking Dead? No, 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 no. That's not the name of the band. Anyway, The Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead. That's who it is. The Grateful Dead. Anyway, wow. I don't know why I had that brain fart there for a second. But anyway, in semen retention and in life, you're going to come across a lot of different modes of being in which allow you the opportunity to establish yourself more concretely as a being, or you're going to miss opportunities. Now, something that I've been growing more and more, I wouldn't necessarily say fond of, but the approachingness of death forever eludes me, and the fact that it comes closer and closer each day also stems in the back of my mind. But I'm also at a point in my life where I feel more alive than I've ever felt. And it's because I'm no longer this person that is people pleasing others, or I'm catering to other people's needs just because I don't want them to feel a certain way or whatever. It's like, no, I'm putting myself first. I know what I want out of life. And although there are many temptations along the way, like even just today at the gym, there were a bunch of, I don't know exactly where they came from. There were a bunch of new women there that I've never seen before. And I don't know if it's just because it's growing closer to the new year or whatever, but there were a bunch of new women there, and they were reasonably attractive. Like, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. They were reasonably attractive women. However, I could tell when I looked into their eyes, as I saw them looking at me, and I noticed them looking at me, it's like, I can see that darkness. I can see that they don't have that light in them anymore. And in fact, there was even another woman that approached me again. This has been happening. If you've been watching my videos recently, you'll know about this. For the last 3 or 4 weeks now, I cannot tell you how many married women have approached me. This woman had like one of those, I think it's called a silicone ring. Like you didn't have like the diamond or anything like that, but it's like one of those like rubber band / like versatile rings that you can wear. And she was wearing that when she came up to me, and she like looked me in the eyes, giving me bedroom eyes. And when I looked into her eyes, and at the time she was wearing like a jacket, and she was wearing shorts, but they weren't like short shorts. They were just like gym shorts. And then after a minute, she asked me if I was using this thing next to her and all that. And I was like, no, go for it. And then she took off her jacket and started to like peacock herself toward me. And I was just like, I cannot understand why women do this. And I guess she didn't technically like she didn't try to start anything other than that, but she was trying to lure me in. Like, so I guess you couldn't necessarily say that this particular instance was a approach per se, but she did put herself in my vicinity. And like when she took off her jacket, she was wearing nothing but a sports bra. And she did have a bunch of tattoos though. And when I looked into her eyes, I didn't see the life. I didn't see the life there. And this is something that I've noticed with a bunch of women that have tattoos. Men, be careful around women with tattoos, man. I'm not saying that like they're all bad, because I've met women with tattoos that aren't, they actually are submissive to some degree. And They want to be a part of your world, not the other way around. And that's much appreciated on my end. But at the same time, women with tattoos, I haven't met one that hasn't had some kind of form of trauma where she's had tattoos. In fact, anytime she has one or more tattoos, it's not necessarily a turnoff for me, but it's more of like a like it's like I don't know. Cuz I'm not about that. I don't personally myself have any tattoos, and I don't like even nose piercings or excessive ear piercings or anything like that. I I just don't. I try not to pay attention to women like that. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why this woman placed herself in my vicinity specifically was because she wanted to just see if she could get my attention. Like, she was just curious about me because I wasn't paying attention to her until she like asked me a question about it. And I obviously wasn't using like what she asked me if I was using. Like, I wasn't asking, or I wasn't using that at all. So the fact that she asked me was interesting, and again, another indicator of something more there. But nonetheless, I just didn't really pay attention to her after that. And then she followed me around the gym. And so she never said anything else, but she kept following me around. And this is one of the reasons why I love being a man. Because as a woman, you almost like have to be passive in some way. Whereas a man, you must assert yourself and you must be the one to, how do I say this without sounding kind of weird here? It's almost like you have to be the one to test her. I'm not going to say what I had in mind initially, but you're going to have to be the one to test her. And she might think that she's testing you in certain places, but you're actually going to be the one to test her. And especially on semen retention, you're going to be naturally able to do this. I've had moments where I didn't even realize that what I was doing was actually a test in some way. And the reason I didn't realize it is because I knew that I was just acting from my natural being. And I could sense subconsciously that something was off about the interaction itself with this woman. But this is going to be a milestone that you're going to have to go through sooner or later on retention. And this is going to be an obstacle at the same time, is learning how to navigate these kinds of women that want your attention just because they want your attention. Or do they actually want to start something? And a lot of the times, and I've mentioned this before, married women are the easiest women, in my experience, to ever like have like any possibility for something new to create, because they already have the security. Like, if something doesn't work out with you, it's okay, because they have beta male to go back to at home while he's playing video games and eating pizza or whatever. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's doing, but obviously he's doing something wrong if his woman is out here trying to flirt with me. Like, what the hell's going on in that household? What kind of women, like, what, are you guys not having a sex life or something? Like, what's going on? Is it only missionary? Jeez Louise. I don't get it, man. I don't get like what's going on with some of these women. Like, I don't know what they want exactly. And I don't think, well, here's the thing. I do know what they want, but at the same time, it's more like they don't really know what they want until it's presented to them. And this is why being a man, especially on retention, is so nice, because you actually know what you're trying to do. You actually know what direction you're wanting to go. That's more than almost anybody else can say on the planet. Most people do not have a direction. Most people do not have the ability to discern what they want out of life and what they don't. Most people don't even have goals they set like and goals that they meet. That's something even more so. And that's one of the reasons why in my consultations that I do one-on-one with people, I always, after the first session that we have, I always make goals, daily recommended goals and monthly recommended goals. And the reason for this is because so many people don't even have a goal in mind. Like they get to be, some of the men that I've talked to have even gotten to be like 55 or 60, and they still don't set goals. And I'm not like saying, like, I'm not calling these people out necessarily right now, but I'm just saying that some people out there get to be decades, years old, and do not have goals that they're setting or meeting. Yo, hello? That, like, is anybody there? We need to recognize that goal setting is a part of masculinity, and not only goal setting itself, but meeting those goals. Because ultimately, as a man, if you don't meet the goals that you set, like, you're SOL. You're going to be SOL with people, and you're not going to be able to have the kind of reputation and the competence readily available to you to become that person that gets stuff done. And I'm doing things from dusk until dawn every day now. I have not practically taken a day off since May last year. I've been working on something, even if I fail at it a couple months in or down the road or whatever, and I realize I need to adjust my aim or whatever, I do that. But since May last year, the day that I've had off is when I went to the Tetons this last September. And even then I did a little bit of work beforehand. And I just don't like to take days off anymore. I don't like to take days off. I don't think that I've earned that necessarily just yet. Like, am I on my path? 100%. But have I earned certain rights to kind of take an exit over here or over there to go somewhere new for a second and then get back on the main road? I don't think I have. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue to do what I think is best for me and what I know is going to place me on a path to success down the line. I have made plans that are 8 to 10 years in advance of where I want to be today. I have an 8 to 10 year plan. I set a goal financially, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Everything that I want to have happen over the next 8 to 10 years. And I highly recommend you do something similar. And the reason for that is because at least you have somewhere to go. At least you have somewhere to go and to be in the now. And if you don't, you're going to waste time. You're going to keep scrolling through social media or whatever, looking at Instagram models' butts and all that stupid shit. And you're going to keep going to these corn sites where you just give your seed spiritually to these women that are whores and these men that are whoremongers. Why are you wasting your energy on these people? They're soul-sucking demons. There's no other way to say it. This is the real shit. And on semen retention, when you commit yourself to semen retention and you're not participating in that stupid crap because you've realized, you know what? This kind of stuff is for degenerates. Watching another guy screw another woman is something that degenerates do. And when you finally realize that is going to be when things start to change forever for you. And I'm not saying you can't like relapse or anything like that and get back on the ball, because sometimes that's going to happen. Now, for me personally, I relapsed the one time when I actually started semen retention, And when I relapsed, I felt so terrible and so horrible about myself. And I felt terrible inside myself that I swore to never, ever, ever play with myself ever again. And I still haven't to this day. And that's been since last May as well. So what I've learned in over a year and a half now on semen retention is that as a person that asserts himself and makes his will in the world, because here's what happens, right? When you're constantly giving off your energy over here and over there and over here to this woman and that woman, you're giving your time and you're giving your energy over here to that woman and all that stuff, you are becoming a less competent man. I genuinely believe that. And the reason being is because you are now loving like a woman. You're falling in love. Or you're just giving your energy away just to give it away and to feel good for a second. And you're chasing pleasure that is not really meaningless. Or meaningful, I should say. It is meaningless. And so when you're constantly doing that, you're going to become a less competent, a less, like you may have pre-selection or whatever with a bunch of different women. That's cool, whatever. So what? So what? Now what? Now what? You've spent however many women you've been intimate with within the last year or two or whatever, 10 years, and where are you at with them now? So what did those relationships or one night stands or whatever, what did they really even do for you? This is why I don't think men should sleep around either. I don't think women should sleep around either. Nobody should really be sleeping around, because look at what happens in society when we sleep around. Men become these soft, pussy-worshipping little bitches. Excuse my French. And then the women become these overbearing, loud-mouthed, promiscuous, not capable of listening people. It's just like, look around you. Look around. You don't need to be the nice guy to these women that are acting like whores. You don't need to be the nice guy to these men that are not capable of demonstrating competence. Assert yourself. Just be who you are. And I'm not saying you need to be a bully, because that's not what we're here to do. That's not what this channel is about. But you sure as hell do not need to just act in a way that pleases others because you might hurt their feelings. There's a song by Bob Dylan. It's like, I used to care, but things have changed. That's how I feel a lot of the times these days. I feel like there are some days where I feel like I'm a 50-year-old in a 27-year-old body. And it's not because like I'm tired or anything like that. I've got a lot of energy. I feel alive almost every day now. Like, of course, there's days where we're always going to get like a little bit down or tired or whatever because of the grind, but I got a lot of energy now. And one thing that's really helped is cardio. Holy moly. I've had no idea how much importance cardio can be to your overall well-being. I used to hate cardio, and now I'm like, wow, yeah, let's go longer. I feel better afterward. My metabolism is going up through the roof now. I can eat more and still have the kind of shape that I want for my body. I'm still eating a lot of good superfoods. And I'm not pleasing any of these people out here just to please them. I'm no longer a yes man. And that's a beautiful feeling for myself. And I hope that you all feel the same way someday. Or you are already. Who knows? But I hope this message and this video was useful and insightful for you. And until next time, peace be with you.